I'm back. I created Species Nutrition with one mission in mind: to provide bodybuilders and serious athletes with no-nonsense supplements that work. I put my name and reputation on every bottle of Species Nutrition products. If you want to be your absolute best, join the evolution.
It just came out! Look at that!
I love it!
And we're back, and we have a new president, and I have the Whack Pack back, and John Romano's back from vacation. So we got a lot of back stuff going on, and Mr. G's back too. Imagine that.
Yes.
Fucking back day. George, can you tilt your camera down so we can see beyond the cap of your head?
It's a great shot of your ceiling fan, by the way. If you're working for Hunter Douglas, you're doing
this is iconic hat, man. America's back, man. The world is back.
Can you close the blinds behind you too? Because it's picking up that as very light. It's darkening you.
We went over this last time.
You know, this is absolutely hysterical that we go through this every single time. It's like it's a clockwork, guaranteed. The camera's pointing at the ceiling fan. The shade is open. We can see right up your nostrils. It's
right
every time.
My brother on
yeah,
his head just goes like this.
I'm telling you.
How many years?
You got to learn how to shoot like a video.
What are we shocks?
You can't have light shining like that. You have to have the light off. You're funny, George.
Hey, you're old school if you remember this.
Yeah. Let me ask you. Oh, I got rid of your back, so hold on. Show it again. Show it again. Oh, yeah. Look at that. Wow. Your trophies from your show. Let me ask you this question. If you were
how old were you?
I came back, remember?
Yeah, I remember.
That's when we first met.
Yeah, well, you
we didn't know each other back 20 years ago.
You were probably
how old were you, George?
I was in that picture. I was 50.
Yeah, he was 50
50.
something. You know,
look good.
You worked. Yeah, he looked really good when he competed. You worked the polls for the Republicans, right? And how come you weren't invited to the inauguration?
We got invited at the very too late.
You did get invited? Who invited you?
No, Mike got invited, right?
Oh.
And then we were going to go, but it was just too late.
Since when did it ever stop you? You drove to Alabama at the last minute.
Yeah, but there was going to be a storm, and it wasn't worth it. It's not. There's going to be so many events. I was at I went to a watch party for the Republican Party in West Palm Beach at the Croquet and Polo Club.
Nice. Wow, they let you in.
That's a Grey Poupon, please.
They let you in the front door.
Oh yeah.
They must have thought.
Wait a minute, Dave. You got to get a visual with this, okay? George, okay, hanging out with these crusty Palm Beach people. Okay?
They thought he was like Bill Murray. He was getting the golfer from the golf course.
Georgie, you were a standout, right? They loved you.
Yeah, I came as me. I came in my Converse black top. No, wouldn't they expect? You gotta go as yourself, right? I mean, I'm not. I didn't know that croquet, was such a big thing.
Knitting? You mean knitting, right? Like,
no, that's crochet. Croquet.
Oh,
whatever the hell they call it.
I was wondering why this didn't make any sense. I'm like, why are they knitting? I'm thinking your grandmothers are over there knitting and shit.
Because I'm missing 2 teeth they knocked out over here. So that what happens is sometimes my Q's turns into S's.
Georgie, how many teeth do you have left now?
I got 20. I got 20 teeth.
Do you have
John,
20?
that was him at the country club. Yeah,
George,
right
you
there.
go over to Turkey. The dental over there is dirt cheap. They'll do your whole mouth for like $2,000.
Really? There you go.
Yeah, but I'm not. I don't know if I want to get it. I don't know if I want to get it done.
Why
Well,
wouldn't? Why not?
Because I don't want. I'll tell you what.
We might do a comp job if you.
I got strong. I got strong Irish teeth and roots. So I don't want to. I don't want to take the chance of putting that in. And
You can tell by the fact that 12 of them.
No.
It's not like you were on meth or anything. Like you didn't lose your teeth from drugs.
Wait a minute. You guys are missing the obvious. There's supposed to be 32 teeth in your mouth. He's missing 12. Okay? So how deep are those fucking Irish roots? How many people do you know are missing 12 fucking teeth? The reason why he doesn't want to do anything about it is because the harder it is to chew, the easier it is to diet. So nice and lean because you can't eat.
Okay, now you like a rabbit.
Oh man!
Now listen, if you don't get some dental implants in that jaw, your bone is going to degenerate.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
And you're going to look like one of those old guys that look like this.
The glass jaw.
Oh man, can you imagine Georgie being like 85?
Bitter beer face. Hey, you guys remember bitter beer face?
Yeah.
Pull up that commercial, bitter beer face.
Yeah.
So George,
that's not going to happen because I'll get it.
It's going to be hitting you right, Armand.
You lose the bone density, and so it makes your jaw start ducking in. So that's the point of the implants.
I thought I'd build up my density if I keep getting elbowed and punched and kicked in the door.
Armand, is that root canals do that, right, Armand?
Seriously though, George.
If it's $2,000, I'll do it.
I mean, they can.
We might be able to get you for free.
They could take care of the whole mouth. Yeah.
Shit, take your hat off while you're there. Get your hair done too. Fuck you, 2 for 1, man.
Go. There he is.
That's going to be you, George, in 10 years if you don't get those teeth done.
Yeah, George.
If you have a following too, like if you have a following, like let's say you're on here and you're like, hey, I can promote this before and after. They'll do it for free.
Nice.
I think you would.
I'm literally saying, and I'm being serious. You could literally have a Hollywood smile if you go there, and they'll fix everything. You might have to go back to, another.
We should get a deal for the whole RX After Hours crew, and we'll all go there and get something, like
Because
do they do nose reductions? Because I mean,
I thought you already had a nose job.
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, it got bigger. Should I get another one? I'm gonna get 3 times the size. We'll go all
it's like the fat guy saying the diet's going really good.
Right on.
Oh my god!
All right, so let's see what can I get? I can get more hair. John, what do you want? What do you want done over there? Anything you need?
My lower teeth.
All right, John, get his teeth done. Amin needs his nose done again. George,
I want to do the hair. I want to do the hair because I want to have like lots of hair.
You have hair though.
But I want lots of hair. I want to have like.
You don't get greedy. Get your nose done.
He wants to be like Howard Stern, is what he wants.
Yeah, George.
I thought Stern wears a wig.
He does.
He does.
Well, not a wig, but like extensions.
Oh, he does. I didn't know that.
And he dyes it. Stern is like. He's what is he 71 72?
Yeah,
can we stay there for a few weeks so I can take some growth and shit? Because everything's legal there.
When I was there, this guy came up to me. He's like, brother, you need anything? I help you. I could take you to my pharmacy. Yeah, I mean, he was trying to sell me the GH pins for like $75.
What? Really? That cheap?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. But I said, man, I'm not comfortable carrying them back. He's like, you can take a few. You're fine. I'm like,
maybe Turkey's the new place to go for bodybuilding.
They ship the GH from Turkey.
Yeah.
Pfizer's in Turkey.
I've been in too much trouble. Yeah. I'm not going to take a chance of taking.
No, you can't bring it back with you. You can live in Turkey.
No, but they ship the Pfizer GH right from Turkey right to you.
We'll schedule my nose job for the end of the trip so that I could take lots of growth in the beginning of the trip, and when it grows, they could just cut it down.
I wore a hash back in my boot.
Over there, anything?
When I was in the service,
got a nose job, and one of my friends got a nose job, and it was weird because his nose went with his face, and after his nose job, I think it's a little weird when men get nose jobs.
Yeah,
Like,
it can look bizarre. It can look bizarre. Yeah.
If you're Iranian, like I have a bigger nose, I'm fine with it. I'm Iranian. I'm half Iranian. I'm fine with that. That's part of my. Part of my. You know.
You got the same thing.
Yeah. I mean, have you ever listened to the Humpty Dance? I mean, come on. Having a big nose, having a big nose is badass, man.
It works if you do it when you're young enough that so that everyone thinks that that's how you are.
No, you're right.
Yeah, at my age, everyone's going to be like, you got a nose job. Like, duh, you know?
You give me like a
it takes a long time for it to like kind of settle into your face too. So you're going to look like a weirdo for the first, 5 years.
If they mess it up, dude, it's a wrap. It's a wrap.
My friend that got it done, he looks weird. It made him look like a different ethnicity. He looks weird.
I think when they do a subtle job, like let's say you have a big hook and they kind of straighten it out a little, that looks good. But when they try to you try to pull the Michael Jackson trim down the nose a little bit, it looks ridiculous.
The tip. It's always the tip that gets you right here.
Yeah.
Because it never stops growing. That's the problem. Is your nose and your ears never stop growing. So you get a nose job. It's like the guys that get their bald spot removed and the hairline keeps receding. So they, it's like a fucking toilet seat. So the nose keeps growing and your ears keep growing. So if you fix your nose and you're 30, by the time you're 60, you're gonna have to do it again because
John, while we're on this subject, do you think growth hormone makes your nose grow? If you take lots of growth?
But technically, your nose and ears, they don't actually keep growing. The collagen starts diminishing, so it gives the appeance that it keeps.
Oh, so it kind of droops. It droops.
That's comforting. Thank you.
It actually,
you know what? You're right. Well, I was saying about Persian men when they're younger, their noses look really good, and then all of a sudden, like it just starts to droop a little bit. They get that the cab driver look,
Bro, it happens to Italian men too.
Yeah, I know.
Maybe get a little shaved off and not so bad.
Yeah, and Jewish people.
You guys got to look at it this way. All right, I'm older than all of you. You got to look at it this way. It's only going in one direction. You're not going to get better. You're going to get worse. All right, it's all worse. There's no better. So you got to deal with that. I mean, you can put Band-Aids on, do Botox and fillers and get your teeth fixed and all of that shit. But and you will gracefully go that direction. But you're going in that direction. There's no going back. So you're going to get ugly. That's just the way it is. I mean, when I look at pictures of me when I was young, I go, fuck, man, I was a stud. Now it's like, holy shit. It's not even a floor joist.
But isn't it funny when you're younger, you don't think you look good, and then you look back at young pictures of yourself now, and you're like, I was a pretty good-looking guy. Now I'm really ugly.
Not only that, but I realized what a fucking animal I must have been because, I look at some of the shit I did, going back on that.
Shirtless with the apron, John. Shirtless
beyond. Well, I'm talking physical labor.
Look at Mr. G in that picture, and his brother Rob before he was obese next to him.
Wow. That's me and my brother. That's me at 38.
Yeah.
Wow. Very handsome.
You guys were good looking. Now look.
We look like the Kennedys, right?
How come you lost your hair and Robbie didn't?
Yeah.
I didn't lose my hair. I just cut it.
No, you didn't. You lost your hair. How come your brother has a full head?
What's this? What's this, Dave?
It's called a bald spot.
No, it's not.
It's called denial.
Denial. Look.
Your brother has a perfect head of hair. The last I saw him, at least.
Georgie, you have a moderate comb over, is what.
By the way, can you get your brother on the phone? I've been trying to order shirts from him. He's not getting back to me.
He's getting back. It was just here. We were going to invite you out to Gallicus, but it was too.
I live in Florida, George. Oh, he was with you.
What are you talking about? He was in Florida, Gallicus Steakhouse in Boca.
I thought you were with him. Sorry.
My brother, they were going to order me the two.
Why is it so difficult? Why is it so difficult for me to order shirts from him?
He's going to get you the shirts.
The process is so complicated. It should be simple. I don't understand it.
How many do you want, Dave? Let's.
I want 2,000 T-shirts, and I want a bunch of sweatshirts, but I need pricing and I need samples. It should take one day.
Hold on. Write that out. You want 2,000 what? T-shirts?
Yeah.
2,000 T-shirts.
In various sizes.
And I want zip sweatshirts and pullover sweatshirts for Species. That's it. Just start with that.
zip sweatshirts,
and pullovers.
Dave, you got to specify the sizes in the t-shirts.
Well, I will, but I need pricing first. He always tells me you get the best pricing, but I would still like
He's going to sell you the smalls cheaper than the large. You got to, you know what you're getting.
No, I know he does good work for Steve. I'm the one who
yours, Dave. These are thicker than the ones that you.
I know. I'm going to have him do the t-shirt, at my clothing again because he's right there. He can deliver them right to my fulfillment warehouse in New York. And he's a big deal now. He gets all the good stuff, so I want to order from him.
He's got, what else he's got? He's got the sleeveless ones too, like the ones that, like the Bella, the Bella shirts that fit your body.
Right.
He has hooded sweatshirts like that.
No, he's got to send me some samples. Maybe I'll order some of those. The good thing is that, I want to do giveaways. So all the fans out there that are waiting for free species stuff, it's Rob Smalley's fault. Blame him.
Yep. There you go.
Instagram him and tell him to send my pricing already,
You know how he does. You know how my brother is. He's going to make you wait. And all of a sudden, and then when he thinks he's going to order from somewhere else.
That is such a classic.
He'll tell you why you call me.
That's Dave. Don't you feel insulted being plied with a tactic like that? It's
what
like,
I'm trying to do, John,
here's what he's doing. He's pushing you off. Now you're going to be so desperate by the time you talk to him because you made all these promises that you're going to pay the higher price that he wants.
No, I'm going to go to Pakistan. John, is what's going to happen. But I'm trying to, now that Trump's president, I'm trying to buy American. You know what I mean? I'm trying to get
right.
We use Dave. I use Next Level for my shirts. They're a little more expensive, but that's the best quality T-shirts.
No, that's the ones he's getting me. That's the one he's getting me.
Yeah, Next Level. Yeah, those are the best.
He gets those.
They fit your body, but they stretch too. So this way,
They don't.
This way, if somebody's got a little bit of a belly or what, it doesn't look like they're like it's tugging your body.
Do you have a barbed wire?
Do I have a barb? No, I have this.
No, yeah, that's not the same barbed wire.
I have the barbed wire.
I'm a
that's like the early 90s tattoo everybody has, right?
Yeah, I have it. Yeah. But I hung Asian charms off it for my kids' names. So it's
that's cool.
This is movie barbed wire.
The trips.
I was just saying that was I was in love with Pamela Anderson in that movie. She was that was the greatest. I thought that was a really good movie actually too. I thought she did a great job in that movie. Remember that movie? Hold on, let me pull up.
I saw a movie not too long with her in it, maybe like a year or two ago. She looks really. She didn't do all that filler like they all do, and she looks really good.
She was crazy hot in that movie.
Yeah, that was a good movie. Yeah. You're right. It was a good movie. It was an actually watchable movie.
A good actress in the movie. Yeah.
I think she dated Zito. She used to date Chuck Zito.
Did she?
She did.
Yeah, Chuck Zito. Yeah. Well, Zito's been he's the number one bodyguard for all the celebrities. I mean, he's Trump's bodyguard. I mean,
Yeah. What better bodyguard to hire than the former president of the New York Hells Angels?
Yeah.
First of all, he can talk, so
he can fight.
But we obviously people know as soon as they see him, don't f with this guy, and he's he's the best guy to have. He's at all Trump's rallies.
Yep.
He's here. Remember the last time we met him when he was looking for Mel at the Arnold.
Well, he used to come to the Arnold every year. I haven't seen him recently, but yeah, we would see him at the Hall of Fame ceremony and everything like that. And he was always very, very gentlemanly. He always did interviews. He came on the radio show with John and I back in the day a lot. He was great.
I used to see him at Scores.
Yeah. Well, he had his own table there for
years. He did.
He probably still does, John. That's the funny
probably does.
I mean, he broke his hand on Van Damme before they were filming that HBO series. What was the HBO series he was in?
Oz.
Yeah.
Oz. Yeah.
The day before his big thing to go on this to film, he has a fight with Van Damme. Well, not a fight. Van Damme.
He beat him up. It scores.
Van Damme was talking, now they're best friends, obviously. But I mean, but he tried to hide it. He tried to hide it from the director and producer, thinking they're not going to know. He's not going to get a job. And he goes in, they were like, first thing they told him, they go, it's the greatest thing ever because now they're going to get PR.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. They loved it. Yeah.
Well, he was Van Damme's bodyguard.
He wasn't Van Damme's bodyguard.
He was.
I don't think they even like each other.
Didn't Dorian have a run-in with Van Damme?
Bodyguard.
Didn't Dorian have a run-in with Van Damme?
That's Chuck.
No.
What Van Damme put his body through is pretty amazing. He's still alive, with all the cocaine and all the, he's put his body through a lot.
Who?
And I think Van Damme.
Oh.
And he still looks good.
Did him and Dorian have an issue?
I don't think so.
I thought Dorian knocked him out or something.
Dorian did not have that.
I don't know.
If anything was
yeah, there's no way.
Zito still got those insane traps.
Imagine him walking in Antifa and Black Lives Matter protest, and somebody.
Yeah, isn't he like 70 also? He's
like a Charlie Arms. Like they come from the same.
Yep.
He's a savage trainer. He's martial law. He does all the MMA. He's been doing it for, and besides the fact being a tough son of a gun, on top of that,
he's the real deal.
He's lethal. Yeah.
What do you guys think about the whole Trump inauguration without getting us in trouble and getting demonetized, please?
Inspiring.
Yeah.
Well, he said he's going to go after the cartels.
Yeah, he made him terrorist organization.
And I'm all for that.
Yeah, I know.
I think he will. I think he will. I don't think he's just saying that. I think he will.
No, he did. He did it this morning. He labeled them a terrorist organization.
Yeah. I mean, look at all the crime they brought over here. They're all living here too. It's terrible.
Deportations are starting. The wall is back. They're barring people at the border. I mean, it's immediate. It's already starting.
100,000 over 100,000 people died from fentanyl last year.
Yeah, that was
you can't buy recreational drugs anymore.
No.
A guy told me the other day, a guy snorted coke and died because it had fentanyl in it. Pot has fentanyl in it.
You know what? I mean, Armand told me this, right? Don't most drug addicts now test their drugs for fentanyl? They have like testing.
Yeah. Yeah, my friends that still party that go to like raves and take tabs and stuff. They have tester kits. A lot of the EDM parties of the parties they go to and stuff like that. They'll actually have testers there for you, so you can get a tester kit and test your ecstasy tabs or whatever to make sure there's not fentanyl in them. And so many people that go to a party, they go to one of these raves. These young kids, 18, 19, they're excited. Oh, I want to take my first ecstasy tab, and it's fentanyl, and they're dead.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Is Dance Safe still a thing, Armin?
There's what? Yeah, Dance Safe, huh?
Yeah. Dance Safe.
Dance Safe is good, and then there's another one that makes a little, but that's great for like fentanyl. Just if you want to know if fentanyl is in there or not. There's another one that goes above that, because you got to understand a lot of these drugs they have different analogs, and so just by changing the analog, it's like a research drug. Like, I don't know if you remember gas station heroin, which Aaron Clark just did an interview with Ron Harris, and he was addicted to that for years. I'm trying to think of the chemical name for it, but it's called gas station heroin, and they were buying it. It was at gas stations and smoke shops, and it was basically a very strong opiate and a very short half-life. So Aaron Clark, we all remember him, and
he was great.
That's how he kind of like got out of bodybuilding, because he got so addicted to that. And
it's called tianeptine.
Tianeptine. Yeah.
Tianeptine. Yeah.
Yeah.
So fun way to go.
Greg, I mean, John, you remember the good old days when you can just go and actually do drugs and not have to worry about dying? You know,
remember the good old days when you walk into the health food store and buy GHB?
That was the best, dude.
Right?
Different colors.
Oh man.
You know who used to sell a ton of that stuff? Jimmy the Bull.
Yeah.
Jimmy had his Nutra, I think it was NutraSport store. He would sell gallons of that stuff, and it was legal. It was legal.
I bet he was selling the Dimetadrine 25s when they were legal. Remember those? The little
My friend Vinny, the store.
Then when they made GHB illegal, you could still go to the health food store and buy it. It was Rejuve. Remember?
Rejuvenate.
Yeah. And you're like, but you had to ask for it. So the guy come out, what do you can help you?
Yeah, Jimmy had it under the counter for a while. Yeah, John.
Yeah, and they give it to you in a brown bag,
Yeah. Those were the days, man.
There were nutrition shops.
The best sleep aid ever invented was GHB. Fuck.
John, were you around when they had the powder GHB in the bottle that you could buy again? Yeah,
that's what you bought in the health food store. Yeah,
that's where they called it scoops. You would scoop it.
Scoops, little scoops.
Yep.
In 2012 in Dallas area, they were still selling GHB. They had it in a little cat picture on there, and the guy was selling it for years and getting away with that. I think eventually he got in trouble, and I think he ratted on people and got a plea deal. But that shit's no joke. I mean, they'll put you. My friend got 20 years for dropping off a few gallons of it.
Wow.
How about the combo?
A few years before that. That's the crazy thing. I had a friend who was making it. This is when it was still legal, and he was adding Crystal Light to it because it tasted terrible.
Yeah.
And it was like fruit punch Crystal Light. It would take that
it's very thick and syrupy too.
Yeah.
Now, how about the combo? Armin will appreciate this: ecstasy, GHB, and a couple whiffs of Special K.
Well, John, I've never done ecstasy in my life. I've never tried it.
Really? You're on the wrong boat.
Never done.
Too young, John. That was the Sound Factory special right there.
Okay, well, I've never done coke or ecstasy in my life. Never even tried it.
Cool.
Yeah,
the Sound Factory special was GHB, MDMA, and a little Special K, like you said, John.
That was
Diddy.
Been blowing.
Diddy, the pink cocaine. The pink cocaine is, I believe,
juicy. That's juicy.
Cocaine, K, and something else, right?
No, it's another drug called 2C. It's a different drug in it, but it's a designer drug. It's called 2C.
So I have a funny
bath salts. Yeah, a lot of bath salts in them.
So what do they do with that? They snort it?
Yeah. Well, but sometimes they inject it too, but because it comes as an injectable. So what you do is you get the toaster oven, you pull the tray out, you just pour a little on the toaster oven tray, and you stick it in the toaster oven.
No, that's K. That's Special K. That's
what I'm talking about.
K.
No, he's talking about there's some kind of pink cocaine where they mix
that shit.
Yeah, pink cocaine is a mixture. That's what Diddy they found out when they raided him. He had a lot of pink cocaine at his house.
Oh, really?
I bet he had all kinds of shit at that house.
Experimental bullcrap.
That's why when he went in, they said he was in serious withdrawals because he was on X and opiates and everything nonstop every day.
It probably saved his life going into jail. Cleaned him out.
Well, I mean, what life does he have left, really? To be honest with you.
Yeah. What do you guys think he's going to be convicted?
Yeah.
I think you know what, guys? I think life is fair, and I think if you do something to hurt other people, I think you're going to pay for it.
It comes back to you, right?
You reap what you sow, man. This guy was doing things for years.
Didn't, and then you'll be resolved of it.
You rack up enough bad karma, it's going to come and get cashed in, man.
Absolutely.
It just happens.
And if you have a lot of good karma too, it could pay in your favor.
And that happens too. I mean, look at Trump. 2 attempts on his life. I mean, in the course of 2 weeks. And he's still here.
This much would have killed him. This much.
I mean, so
the guy's trying to do good. About the kid.
Do you think they moved? Did you think they moved the inauguration inside because of security or because it was cold?
Because it was too cold.
Both.
He said himself that they did some tests and people couldn't withstand the cold for more than 10 minutes without
10 minutes. Yeah, exactly. I heard the same thing.
A lot of people were complaining that it was a Martin Luther King Day. They were like making a big deal about that.
course. What's one of the best liberal talking points that could possibly come up in the course of a day? Are you kidding? Trump scheduled his inauguration on Martin Luther King Day?
It's a great day. It should be scheduled.
Such a racist.
You know what? I think Martin Luther King would have voted for him, and I think it's a great thing that it was on that day, because I honestly think that the King family would have wanted him to be president.
Absolutely would have. No question.
Yeah, Martin Luther King was a Christian. He had good morals and everything. So
Martin Luther King would not have voted for Kamala just because of her color of her skin. He would never have done that. He would have wanted the true best qualified person to win, and we all know who that was.
I dream of a day when all children are walking in the playground, white little kids, black little kids, holding hands, playing together. And it only matters of the content of the character.
I remember back from history, William Henry Harrison. Do you know who that president was? I think he was the 9th president.
Yep.
He gave his inauguration, was freezing outside for 2-hour speech. He wound up getting pneumonia and died after the speech.
No.
Well, John Kennedy's was out in the freezing cold.
Yeah,
and
he was only 44, John. We don't need Trump dying of pneumonia because of giving a speech.
The one that was inside was Ronald Reagan's second inauguration. So
was it
Reagan's second inauguration was indoors.
Hey, you know what? It made it a lot better for security. That was just a plus. So,
look, it doesn't matter. If J.D. Vance can come from the poorest neighborhood in the country with nothing, have his mother, who was a nurse and became a drug addict, his grandmother go and rescue him from the mother. Now the mother's clean, and this kid goes from nothing to becoming the vice president of the country and going to an Ivy League school. Then it doesn't matter where you come from, what you look like, what your race is, what your religion is. You can become something great. Look at J.D. Vance right there.
And by the way, speaking of this, you guys notice how America isn't saying anything about the fact that J.D. Vance's wife is an Indian American, but they don't say anything about that. It's like, how come, if it was Kamala or any other DEI thing, you always mention that their race. Here we are with a vice president with an Indian American wife, and nobody's mentioning the fact that she's Indian American. It's like it doesn't matter when it's the vice president.
Well, they got rid of the DEI, right?
Sure, that's the point.
Isn't that amazing how that is disappearing as fast as it appeared?
Yeah.
It's incredible. You know what it is? It's like what Trump said during one of his speeches. It's common sense. Really, what we're working with here is common sense. From the girls in the boys' room to the girls playing boys' sports to all of the crazy shit these liberals push is totally lacking in common sense. And if you just employed common sense, not red, not blue, not purple, not green, just common sense, you would solve so much of these issues.
What I think, John, I think that a bunch of losers across the world, across the country, for the most part, our country, okay, they got together and they realized that people who really have disabilities, handicapped people, people who really have disabilities, okay, they were getting the attention. And these losers didn't want to go to the gym. They didn't want to work out. They didn't want to do anything. They just wanted to keep playing video games and just do what they wanted to do. And then at the end of the day, they wanted attention. So what are they going to do? They become trans. They become this. They become that, because they have to identify with some sort of oppression in order for them to feel special. It's
dude, one half of Hollywood is admitting to having at least one transgender child
because they think it's cool, John. That's why they
it was like when remember they were adopting Asian babies there for a while. That was
there's only two sexes now, John. So
the craziest thing is Magic Johnson. When Magic Johnson, they always post a lot of family pictures, and you got his son, whatever, 6 feet, whatever, and in a dress and make it's Magic Johnson's son. They're posting pictures constantly.
All her kids are transgender, I think, right?
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Let's transition. I want to ask what people are ask about. What do you think about the Elon Musk salute, where they're saying he's saluting Hitler? It's so stupid.
No, first of all, that's not the salute anyway.
Actually, he was going to scratch his nose. And
actually, if you guys rewind it, I don't know if it was AI or not, but he went like this first. I think that's why they're saying it, because
he patted his chest. He patted
his chest. Yeah.
Like My heart's out to everybody.
That's what I thought it was.
But
I'm giving my whole place up to everybody.
Right.
A lot of people say he's wearing out his welcome, like at Trump's table. He's kind of like a lot of.
No way.
I know Candace Owens brought that up. They're
trying to put a wedge between the two of those guys. That's all.
Right.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, when Trump gave his speech, did you see how many billionaires were on his side?
Yeah.
It was
everyone's on his side now because they don't want to hear. Yeah.
They want to compare that to the modern day.
Did you see the Joe Rogan interview where he was interviewing Zuckerberg and he says you want us to believe now after you stifled free speech and did all these disinformation claims on your thing, now you're a good guy and one of us? He goes, yeah.
Dave, he trains all the UFC guys. Most of them are his bodyguards. The people who build this stuff in Hawaii and all this stuff are all local Hawaiian warrior guys.
In other words, he might have changed his mind, but it took for Trump to get elected for him to change his mind.
A little too late.
No, Dave, he did say that it was badass how he got up after he got shot.
No, what I'm saying is, in other words, he was stifling free speech and shutting people's accounts down, and now all of a sudden, that Trump's reelected, he's one of the good guys now. And he's
a businessman.
You guys got to remember that Zuckerberg is responsible to a board of directors and shareholders. It's his responsibility as CEO to ensure that company is profitable.
The government said they were going to shut him down.
Money. So he's got to go where the narrative sends him. He's got no choice.
When they contacted him, they told him what he had to do.
Right.
Did you see that picture? He was looking at the cleavage of Bezos' girl.
You know what the thing is? There's a rule that social media is exempt from getting sued. Okay, because otherwise, every time someone would say something slanderous, they would be like Facebook would be named or Instagram would be named in the lawsuit. So the government has this law that they're not liable. But what they do is they use that against them so that they say, if you don't take this stuff down that this guy wrote on the thing, then we're going to take away that law, and then you're going to be liable for everything that's said. So these guys are beholden to the government. So the government was using leverage against, Zuckerberg and the old, Twitter before Musk bought it, of course, to make people take shit down. And so that's what he was explaining, that was the pressure that was being put on him. And now, obviously, with Trump in office, he doesn't have to worry about that. They're not going to do that to him anymore.
I was surprised to see Zuckerberg and Bezos in there.
Are you kidding me? They got the most to lose. They need Trump on their side. They donated. They got to throw money at Trump now. And support.
Exactly. Everything's changed now. You
want Trump to shut down their business? Are you kidding me?
No.
Zuckerberg went from zero to billionaire. Imagine being a kid and then all of a sudden within 5 years, your company's worth billions.
He's still only 35 years old, right? Or something like that?
Yeah, when he started Facebook, he was like 21.
He was in college. He was first year?
That's what I'm saying. What does he know about life or anything? Right?
He doesn't need to know anything about life.
I'm not condoning what he did.
He knows enough to know that if he needs to know anything, he can pay somebody to figure it out.
Exactly.
But he should stand up and apologize.
He did at the Senate hearings. He did. He apologized.
He had nothing to apologize for. He did his job as CEO. That's what he did. You guys people might not like it, but he had no choice. He's responsible to his shareholders, period. So
no, the government was the one. It wasn't the shareholders telling him. That was the government.
What I'm saying is he's responsible to the shareholders in the sense that if he doesn't listen to the way the government's pushing him, they're going to make his business difficult and he's going to lose money. Stock price will go down. Stock price goes down, the investors get pissed off. So you got to look at it from the whole picture. He is in charge of which way that stock moves.
Yeah, but you got Zuckerberg in contrast with Musk, who doesn't give a shit if the advertisers leave. He's like, F you. You're not telling me what to do.
Elon Musk will tell you not to buy Tesla stock. He says, don't buy it.
Right. I'm saying, but he that's a guy who is putting it out there and says, no one's telling me what to do. And you got to respect
his entire companies by backing Trump.
He chose people over profits.
What do you guys think about TikTok?
Over profits, John. People. That's like RX Muscle does people over profits. Dave won't do something if it means he's going to jeopardize somebody or harm somebody. He won't sell a vitamin. He won't sell anything unless it's good for people. Otherwise, he's not selling it just to make money. It's profits over people, and that's what he chose. Musk doesn't he doesn't get all the stuff that all the stuff is out there free.
If Musk doesn't buy Twitter, we're in a fucking really bad place right now. I can guarantee that.
You mean TikTok?
Would have been
TikTok. Musk already owns Twitter.
TikTok.
He saved free speech.
You mean TikTok?
You know, when TikTok was shut down that one day, people were making videos on Instagram, like literally crying. Like, I told everybody, like, if TikTok goes away, first of all, it's not going to go away. If it does, it's going to be right back up. And it was. That day you logged on to TikTok and it says, hey, unfortunately, it's shut down. Hopefully through Trump, it'll be back up. And you have people on Instagram, like, posting videos literally crying, you ruined my life. This is how I made my living. And then within 24 hours, it was up and say, thanks to Trump, it got reinstated and all that. But at first, Trump was against TikTok. You remember that. And then now, since, he's
getting banned on these other places.
It helped his election to, he's for it. So
he wants to make America a partner. So in other words, half the money that it's sold for will go to the American government, and that's his shtick now. So whoever buys it, I wonder
if Elon will buy it.
Don't you think that was a publicity stunt for him to just say, "Look, I saved it"?
Yeah, I mean, part of it.
I think it was more of a publicity stunt for him to say
it just happens that it goes down the day before, and then he brings it back.
He's a businessman, and he made a good business, and he's making a good business deal for this country, because everything is for this country. I'm going to tariff everyone else. If these people don't listen to me, I'll give them 100% tariff. If they listen to me and work with me, I'll do 25% tariff. And anything I do is going to be for the benefit of this country. So if I'm going to buy Twitter, we're going to buy Twitter from the Chinese government. Half the money's going to
TikTok was very different at first. TikTok was very different at first, though. It was just all about goofy dancing and lip syncing. But once it changed, and I learned a lot of good information on there, especially about certain medications, and people were able to give their voices on certain subjects that were banned on IG or Facebook.
How do you feel it changed? Like, in what ways do you think it changed from the silly?
Well, first when it came out, it was all about just like lip syncing and silly stuff like that. Around 2021, 22, my friend's like, listen, you need to get on TikTok. There's so many like influence on there giving out bad information about bodybuilding. And I got on there and I couldn't believe the stuff that was on there. Even Dave, when we brought that one guy on here, he calls himself like a D-Trend. He was this guy on there that said the most outlandish things and this and this. But when we brought him on here, he was so intimidated being around real bodybuilders, he didn't say anything. So it wasn't a good interview like we expected. But it's changed so much that there's a lot of horrible information on there, but there's so much good information on there too. You just gotta, be smart and kind of.
The problem is TikTok is very young, so it's a lot of young stuff on there. So it's
the whole problem.
But it's a lot of problem with
the whole problem with the TikTok issue is that there's a monumental amount of misinformation out there about it. And all it boils down to is Trump wants two things. One is he wants competition, because competition is good for business. And two, no one is crying about the content on TikTok. All that anybody wants to do is take TikTok out of the ownership of the Chinese Communist Party. That's it. They don't want to change anything. All they want to do is change the owner, so that the Chinese Communist Party, technically our adversary, is not stealing all the personal information of all of us Americans. It has nothing to do with the content. They don't want to shut it down. None of that is true. All they want to do is change the ownership of it so that an American company owns TikTok, not a Chinese communist company.
What information are they stealing other than any other company, that when someone orders something from a company,
doesn't matter. What matters is George. What matters is I don't give a shit if Elon Musk gets my private information. I care if Xi Jinping gets it. Okay, so I don't want the Chinese getting any of my shit if they're our adversaries.
No, they can go, John. They can go on anything, get it anyway. What's the difference,
George?
What are they going to do?
Want the Chinese stealing our information? Okay,
I don't
think they can get it from another source that's already stolen it. That's
what they're going to have a Chinese Romano.
Let Larry say something.
The actual instant matter of the fact that the Chinese are in charge of a company that is deeply rooted in American society that people count on for their livelihoods. There's nothing good can come of that. The ownership of it needs to change, not the content, the ownership.
Hey, I only use TikTok for business purposes, not because I don't really do social media for myself, but I post stuff for the gym and whatnot. And one thing I notice about TikTok is it's always asking for my information for my phone. It's constantly trying to get my personal information, my emails,
contacts
all the time. It's like trying to get my information. I always block it.
You don't have to though. You could you have the choice not to though.
But it constantly asks for it.
It does, and you just have to basically just every time it does that, just make sure you're.
I don't see Instagram asking for my phone information all the time.
Yeah,
because it's an American company.
Yeah, Instagram has such a less reach though than TikTok. TikTok has such a broader reach of people than Instagram.
There's a lot more to this than we're even thinking of when you think about AI, technology, and facial recognition. Okay, it could get extremely sinister if the Chinese government wanted to, with everybody's face. You have no idea the depth that it could go into, the frauds that they can use using your contacts. The fact that they could tap into your phone and through that tap into every one of your accounts, your bank account, and everything else. Guys, I don't think anybody's understanding the reach that TikTok and the Chinese government has and the reason that Trump is involved. There's a reason for this. It's almost borderline national security, I would say.
Especially, I mean, with crypto, a lot of people, since crypto's not, insured like a bank, if you get hacked on your phone with crypto, you've got $500,000 there, and that's taken. That money's lost.
Yeah.
I never trusted TikTok, and I don't see how anybody can, knowing that it's owned by Chinese Communist Party.
Well, I don't think you should trust any app, really, with your information.
What Armand is saying, like, let's say you got your Bitcoin wallet and your crypto this, and it's all this, and it's all that, and you have TikTok. Now, I'm not saying this has happened, but they have the capability to go into your phone without you knowing it, by the way. Go to your Bitcoin, empty out your wallet to another account, and you would never even know they did it. You would think, oh, my phone was hacked. You have TikTok. The government is not going to say, well, you have TikTok. That's why it happened. They're going to say, oh, you got hacked. It very well could be because you have TikTok.
It's happened too. I mean, people have got their phones hacked and had all their, their crypto emptied, and there's nothing they can do about it. They lost all the hundreds of thousands of dollars.
They have your facial recognition. They have your digital footprint. They have everything they need to make a copy of you, including your social, your banking. And it's crazy. I never got TikTok because I understood it. People don't read all the stuff. I don't read all the stuff, but I'm with informed people that let me know certain things to avoid. And then from that, if I want to educate myself further, I find out. And this is what I found out about it. And I highly recommend that everybody that does get TikTok moving forward, check for yourself.
Just don't.
The problem is you can make money on there, especially like I get invites every day to promote certain products, and I could be making an extra several thousand a month on there doing all these things, but I don't trust agreeing to the contracts that these companies want.
A lot of it's scams. It's a lot of it scams.
I would recommend only one thing is if you are going to use TikTok, at least as the past, okay? My thing would be have it on a totally separate phone and make sure that there's nothing else on that phone, like your banking information or anything else on that phone. Literally just have TikTok and that phone, and that's it.
Yeah.
Don't even use
I don't have it linked to my Instagram or Facebook. Like you could link it to your Instagram or Facebook. I don't link those together at all.
I would not have any of it on the same
can do it without you helping.
Yeah, I'm sure. John,
I got a question for you guys before we for the last topic of this show. The IFBB came out with a new rule, and I want to get your opinion on it. I don't know. Some of you might have seen it. Some of you didn't. The rule is if you allow your IFBB, if you have pro status and you get a pro card and you let your IFBB pro card lapse for more than 3 years, like where you don't buy it, you lose your pro card. So you actually lose pro status, and you actually have to redo another show if you want to get your pro status back. Now, if you pay for the card every year, you're fine. They're giving like a grace period. So if you haven't renewed your pro card in 10 years and you want to renew it, you have till the end of this year to do it, but then you have to do it every year. If you let it lapse, like I said, for more than 3 years, then you lose it. Good idea, not a good idea. What do you think?
It's a money grab. It's just
exactly what Larry said.
Just trying to make sure people pay their dues.
I disagree.
It's a part of that. There's too many pro cards too, so I get both aspects, because a lot of people, as soon as they get their pro card, they put it in a profile and they use that to their advantage for their businesses. Oh, I'm a pro. And then you meet these people and like, what are you a pro at? Like, I'm a pro level,
I can understand if they said you have to compete, but you don't even have to compete. You just pay your
you pay your money.
Pay for the card, they'll compete. I think that's the idea. They can't make people compete. They can't make people compete, but they can make you get your pro card. And if you get your pro card, you're more than likely to want to compete then, because you're paying for the card. And I think that's the grab.
I think the rule is brilliant.
Yeah,
I think. Listen, I think.
You know what? You know why? Because it prevents people who shouldn't compete from competing. Right. I don't want to see some warmed over 13-year, retired pro making a comeback.
But that's not the case either.
But John, they just have to pay for their cards still. That's the only thing they got to do.
That's fine, and if they want to do that, that's good. But I'm talking about the guys that want to make a comeback and they come out of nowhere. They've been retired for 10 years or 15 years, and they want to make a comeback. And it's like, come on, dude, you suck now by today's standards.
Let me throw a scenario by you. So let's say the person got their pro card and they don't ever want to compete. They have no desire to compete, but they like to put that in their Instagram title, IFBB Pro. They got the pro card, right? Because it helps their business. But they're not competing anymore. So they basically have lost the pro card according to the new rules, right, after 3 years. Mm-hmm. And should they have to be made to remove the IFBB Pro from their Instagram, or is there nothing?
I'll answer that with a question. If you're a pro football player and you retire, do you have to not say you're a football player?
Right.
Dave, how are they going to stop somebody from putting it on their Instagram anyways?
I'm saying they can't. So my point is, if that's the case, that you really can't stop someone from posting.
If you're not competing, then what does it matter anyway?
Legitimately a pro, then you're a pro.
Who cares if you lose your pro card? You're not using it anyway.
Right.
If you're going to use it, you can buy the card every year. If you're not going to use it, then you don't need. It doesn't matter if you lost it or not.
The card does not define the accomplishment. The accomplishment was made. You won. You're a pro. Yeah. You're always going to be a pro. Period. End of story.
I'll answer this question. Anybody who has a pro card and is paying for it and has no intention of competing in the future is a sucker.
Right.
Because if I'm not competing, what do I need it for? I can put anything I want in my profile, and they can't do anything about it.
Yeah, you can still put in your profile, and they can't do anything to stop that. But you know how people are, Larry. They want to have. They're like, oh my gosh, I can't say it because I legit don't have it, and that makes people panic.
I'm glad they have that rule. It's a great rule.
Listen, I believe there's going to be some way where they're going to be able to show certified or not certified, but that's basically all it is. It's no difference than having to pay for a certificate, for the blue thing on social media. That's their version. That's the bodybuilding world's version of doing that. So now you're a certified IFBB pro or you're not. And that's basically it's a tax. It's genius in some ways, because think about it, anybody that wants to contact a certified IFBB pro, they'll have a monopoly on that. And if it's for movie parts or acting, whatever, and they want to go through that, I don't know, whatever it is, right? But they'll have a monopoly. So if you do get a pro card and you pay for it for the term of your life, you'll always be able to say that you're an IFBB pro, which you should be able to say.
But you can still say it even if you don't pay for it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Exactly. When a pro show, they give you like an automatic, pro card for life. You don't have to renew
they're not worried about the semantics of calling yourself a pro. What they're worried about are people who have no business competing. That's what they have.
No, because if you pay for the card, John, if you suck or not,
I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about the guys who have retired and they're done.
John, that's not what they're worried about. They're worried about the 600 pro cards they give out every year. They want those people buying cards.
Money.
Well, it's their fault too, Dave, for giving out
a validation thing.
So, a membership fee.
Winning a pro card but never buying a pro card and telling everyone they're pros. That's what they don't.
It should have never got to that point though, where they gave out that many pro cards to all those people. I mean, it is since the new class that came in, the division class, and that's a lot more revenue they're making. And I don't really like both of those. I mean, it's a lot more money grab. It is
how much business. They're going to capitalize any way they can.
You guys, I think the whole point's being missed. If you want to pay for the IFBB Pro card every year, then pay for it. You don't have to compete. You can, if you want to, you can pay for it.
Right.
If you do not pay for it, you do not have a valid IFBB Pro card.
Right. But that's if you're not competing, what if
you're losing the status too, John? So
you're losing competitive pro status, which means if you've been absent for 15 years and want to come back, and you just can't come back, you gotta go through.
You gotta requalify
boot camp again.
Right. So what is it like? Is it like $350 a year? Is it that's how much it is now?
I'm not sure.
Unless you won the Olympia.
The only way it would make sense
is eliminate that.
You haven't competed in so many years, and if you want to recompete again as a pro, you have to qualify in some kind of way.
Exactly. They ruined it a long time ago once they started handing them out like Tic Tacs. Once it went from like 5 pro cards a year to over 1,000 pro cards a year. That the pro card was lost its value at that point.
So let me ask you a question.
The real thing would be, and I don't think they can make people do this. What they really should do is, if you have to compete at least once every 3 years, or you lose your pro status.
$200.
That's really what it should be. But it's hard to make force people to do that. But I think that would be a good rule, though. This way, you don't have a bunch of people walking around saying they're pros. They don't even compete. So.
Maybe they'll still do it though, Dave. What's stopping them? How is anybody going to know they're not?
Let me ask you a question. Dorian
What's $200 a year?
Lee Haney, Phil Heath.
What are you showing us, George? You showing us your pro card?
Yeah, pro $200 a year.
How much?
200.
Oh, 200. Okay, I thought they raised it, but that's
not a big deal. Yeah. You just lose the right to compete. You got to requalify.
So you got Dorian Yates, Lee Haney, Ronnie Coleman, Samir Bannout, all these guys that are Mr. Olympias. Can they not say they're IFBB pros?
Of course they can.
Of course they can.
Yeah, but what if they don't pay?
They don't matter.
It doesn't erase the accomplishment. The accomplishment is you are a pro.
Are they going to lose their pro status? Will Kevin lose his pro status if he doesn't buy the card?
Yes, you will lose it. And
Kevin then goes back to Mr. Long Island.
Good anymore.
So when Kevin Ravona got the special invite,
60, he can do the Mr. Long Island to requalify. Is that right?
And they're never going to win, and we don't want to see it. So
I had some clients that did own their pro card, and they're like, I know I can't compete at a pro level. Can I do an amateur show again? This was like a couple years ago, and I said, well, technically no. But they did. They did actually let them. I was like, if you sign up for a show, they're going to take your money anyways and let you compete.
Yeah.
So
no one will know if you're. Yeah.
You don't have you do not have to accept your pro status.
I believe
accept
it. Jose
Raven turned it down. Yeah.
But I'm saying, what if you have pro status and then you lose it because you didn't buy the card? Then you can go back and do the amateurs again.
Right.
That's a great
point. Which it's good because a lot of people want to do that because
you can get 2 pro cards. You can get one and then lose it and then get it back.
Yeah.
Right. Which is how it should be.
You think about that. If you just let your pro card go, you would be the baddest amateur. You get a pro card right.
Listen, you could let Phil Heath go back and do USAs again and win his pro card over again.
Let me give you a scenario. Titus gets released from prison. Okay, now he hasn't renewed his pro card in 25 years. Does he get to go back to the USA and try to win the USA?
No, he's got to go qualify for the USA.
Qualify first, Mr. California, then the USA.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's the way it should be. That is the way it should be.
Anyway, it's a fun scenario.
But the whole thing's just a money grab, anyways.
The stage again after when they're like 80 or something like that.
And Kamali is doing the emceeing. That would be hysterical.
Hey, no way! He turns pro in physique.
You could have Phil Heath go back and win the USA's again.
Maybe it would be like Titus Diddy or something like that. They could at 80 years old, they'll be going against each other on the stage. Phil Heath can win the Ruby Classic. Yeah, that's it.
Maybe.
Dave, Tony could get his card and you can go up against him again.
Anyway, well, guys,
I think he gave a pro card because they didn't know what to do with him.
I love all this. I love all the great debate we had today. I'm very happy Trump is back in office and all these executive orders are going. I bought my. I don't have my shirt on now, but I bought the "Make America Healthy Again" shirt with Robert F. Kennedy on it. You should go to his website and buy it to support him. It's a great shirt. All bodybuilders should be wearing the "Make America Healthy" shirt again.
Yep.
Because
it's awesome what they're already doing. They got rid of the red. That's awesome.
Red dye. Yeah.
They're already starting.
They're going to clean house.
Great direction.
Going to make junior class MMA and weightlifting for kids, starting from kindergarten on up. Cuffing up our kids.
2 genders.
All right, guys. Peace out. I got to go. My wife has a doctor's appointment. Love you all. Peace out. Have a great day.
Another episode of After Hours, guys. We'll see you again next week. Greg will be back next week. I think he had a doctor's appointment today. For now, I'm Dave Palumbo with John Romano and the entire Whack Pack. Have a great day.
Bye, guys.